a brain injury is the cornerstone of a legal case, how does a neurologist turn scattered records and complex science into one clear story that the court can understand? I'm Kiley Como, legal nurse consultant, Shane Smith Law, and welcome back to another episode of Mind Matters, Navigating Head Injuries and Concussions. In this episode, we're continuing our conversation with neurologist Dr. Claudia Munoz, focusing on what happens behind the scenes when she serves as a medical expert in traumatic brain injury cases, how she reviews records, stays objective, and how attorneys can best work. Dr. Claudia, it's good to be back with you today.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
Excellent. Let's dig in. So what role do clinical history and neurological examination play when, say, objective imaging findings are pretty limited?
They are the key. Okay. Most of the time that I, as a neurologist, as an expert, spend on a case is meticulously going through every single medical record and putting together a simple timeline. And you'd be surprised. It sounds like that would be an easy thing to do. But it can be pretty complex when you have a patient who perhaps has gone to several different practitioners, different hospitals, and you have you're presented with, I think the most pages I've been presented with, I think, is about 2,500.
Wow. Wow.
Yes. And really trying to lay out what exactly happened, at least from a clinical point of view. So then you have that. Then you have the person's story. If they're able to give it to you, not every client that comes to me is able to really provide a good clinical history, typically because of the injury itself. Relying on family members or friends, caregivers, any other data that I can. I look at body camera data if it's available to me from first responders. I look at everything and really try to put out the picture of what happened. And when we're talking about these medical records, it can be very dense. I even look at all of the orders, all of the medications that they were on, and really try to piece together day by day if there was a hospitalization of what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that really is often the crux. In neurology, we say talking to the patient, getting the clinical history, the medical history, you should know what's going on. About 80% of the information that is really important comes from that. Then, obviously, you have the person who's in front of you, and you look at them and you say, because this is a snapshot of who that person is right now, right? And you compare that to what is reported that they were prior to that. So those are really, that is the most important. Those are the biggest, most important factors. Apart imaging, yes, it's helpful. It's not to diminish the usefulness of it, but it's sometimes I think I almost don't need it. Almost. Don't get me wrong, but really, it's a much smaller part than I think the general public understands.
Yeah, 100% agree. The amount of information that you're given, can be astounding. And then also, I'm sure you're looking back into, and you did mention it, past medical history, previous hospitalizations, previous,
yes,
care, doctor's office visits for the past 10 years. Just to kind of establish the client's, as you mentioned, baseline kind of health condition and where they were before, as you said. So it is a lot of work, audience, that folks like Dr. Claudia do to get these cases set up and ready to dive into. So you really got to appreciate that. So you've got these medical records. There's a lot of information in it. I'm going to put you on the spot. Are there particular details in histories that you find are often missing that are critically important that you'd like to see?
Oh, goodness. Yes.
I figured you might. Yeah.
I'm a hospital neurologist. I know how busy I am, and I know how busy all of my colleagues are. My general internists who admit patients, all of the other subspecialists. And unfortunately, all of us don't have time to write out every thought that has gone through, all the justifications, all of the minutia that go into all of the decisions that happen in a hospital setting. I get it. I understand. And so piecing together, even if there's no written saying, I changed the patient from this medication to this medication due to blah, 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 I have to kind of find out to the best of my ability, right? I can't go into anyone's head. I can't make things up. Trying to figure out, what actually happens. And so, yes, those hospital records often, I wish were more detailed, right? I wish, but the reality is, I get what I get, and we do our best. Yeah. We really do our best, and that's why it's so important, one, to be meticulous, but also talking to the family members. These are family members, even if they don't have necessarily a medical background of any kind, but they were there next to the patient. And many of them are, just an invaluable well of information when it comes to kind of the day by day of what happened to the patient, how they were before, during, and after. So you fill in the blanks as much as you can.
Yeah, I agree. Because it is, you're there to care for people. And so it's hard to have hands-on care, to do assessments, and then to document like you said, the minutia is just, there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
So understandable. I think we're seeing some advances in that area, whether we think it's good or not. AI is introducing a lot of opportunities for documentation, active listening, in acute care settings that translates into medical records to where the caregiver can be freed up, and still yet have those little things captured. Not everything, but I think we're working on that, because you're right, there's a lot that's missed. How would you, so you've, I think, done a great job of describing how you as a neurologist play such a critical, vital role in caring for patients like this, clients who've had TBIs. How do you describe the role of a neurologist who serves as a medical expert witness in a traumatic brain injury case?
I would say that, again, our job is to lay out in as accessible a manner as possible what happens clinically to this patient. Describe, what happened in the inciting event, meaning the fall, the collision, whatever it is, and lay out, again, in an accessible manner what has happened, what that means for the patient, for the client at that time, at now, right? And what it may mean in the future. Everyone always wants to know, am I going to get better? Is this person going to get better? Are they going to be able to go back? And I wish I had the crystal ball. Yeah. We all do. Humans are beautifully variable. And so we can never 100% say, yes, you're going to be 100% fine. You're going to be 80% fine. That doesn't exist for us. And so really trying our best to just say, look, this is the data that I have now. This is my assessment of this client. And this is what I think the client will need going forward in order to get the best outcome possible. That's it. There's no absolutes. Absolutely no absolutes. I should put that on a t-shirt.
You should.
There are absolutely no absolutes. And but we do our best with the actual data. Now, being empathetic people, we tend to, you want the best thing, but really coming back to the actual data. You have to maintain very scrupulous honesty when it comes to what is presented. Because at the end of the day, that's really going to be the best for that client. Yeah,
yes. Especially when you're talking about you're getting into a legal case or a courtroom battle, if you will. If you want to be dramatic, facts are facts, truth is truth. And so you've got to be able to clearly delineate that 100%. Right. What types of questions, medical questions, would you say our attorneys or courts, typically looking to you to provide clarification on during TBI cases?
Oh, goodness. The question is always, the big question, did this injury cause these symptoms? That is, kind of, and then follow up to that is, what is this person going to need going forward? And at that point, collaboration with other practitioners, with case managers, with, rehab doctors, we see patients and we get the picture of what happened before, picture what's going on now, and then you start collaborating with people who have a lot more experience in that rehabilitation process to try to hammer out what exactly this means going forward for that client. I mean, I'll be honest, not everyone likes what I have to say, and that can be tough. That can be tough. But at the end of the day, I think that really does mean the best for that client.
Yeah, I think a big part, I feel the same way. I mean, it's not just finding all the good. You've got to find the holes in the case as well and make sure the attorneys are prepared for those things, because, what could be worse to a case than run into a big hole and you can't, get your way out of it. So medical experts are equally as important at finding those things as well. And it may not be a good thing, but it's better than not knowing it. So that's key. So glad you mentioned that. Audience, I'd love to pose a question. If you've been through a legal case of your own, or have walked alongside a loved one or friend who has involving a head or brain injury, did you feel like the medical side of your story was clearly explained? Was there anything that felt missing or helpful? Please leave your comments below. We'd love to hear about that. Dr. Claudia, how do you approach reviewing vast amounts of medical records, diagnostic data, symptom progression, being able to form that, objective, clearly articulated medical opinion?
I will tell you what I tell my daughter when she has so much homework, she feels overwhelmed. How do you eat a whole watermelon? Do you know the answer?
One bite at a time.
Bite at a time. Exactly.
That's right.
One bite at a time. And it's the same. I sit down and just say, I have, this block of time right now. This case has my undivided attention. Let's see what we get through now. And then you just keep going. You keep going. And I keep tabs on myself and how kind of mental fatigue too, because that's when you miss things.
That's right.
Take a break and then come back to the next bite. I know that's a very basic non-clinical answer.
No. Yeah. Makes total sense.
But that's the reality.
Yeah.
It's just one chunk at a time. And I'll go back many times and look at things again and read my own report that I've written and say, I would like to know more about this. Let's see if I can find maybe I missed something. Sometimes I didn't miss anything, and that information I would love to have just isn't there, and I do not have it, and being honest about that. So that's the answer to your question.
Yeah. I think that I love the honesty. Just the other day myself, same thing. I've been sitting in front of the computer for hours and I could just feel the tension and I was jumping out of my own skin. So I left and went and did a quick workout, came back, was fresh, was ready.
Yes, exactly.
Take a break, eat a snack. You're right. You've got to do that because it is a lot. I love that. You've talked a lot about this episode, about the objectivity piece of things, right? Clients, patients feel the way they do. Family members see their loved ones suffering, and it's hard to describe how, but you and I, we have to operate in the realm of objectivity. So how or why is objectivity and medical independence, if you will, so critical in the role of an expert witness? Well,
I'll give you why it's so important to me as the doctor, and I will give you why it's so important to the patient or the client, and why it's so important to the legal team, what I believe is important to the legal team. Me as a physician, I worked extremely hard to be able to be a doctor and have put a lot of time, pride, love, and effort into growing as a physician. And that's very important to me. And I rely on that, my credibility as a physician, my integrity as a physician. Those are invaluable resources that I have, right? So I'm not going to compromise that. For the client, what that means is that they're going to get somebody who is absolutely going to look for the truth, look for as much objective data to put together the most comprehensive, truthful, thoughtful picture of what has happened to them. And then for the attorney, that means that they can rely, they trust, they have, hopefully we've built a collaboration of real trust that they know that what I'm saying is reliable and defensible. If that doesn't exist, then they're wasting their time with me. And I'd like to think that no one's wasting their time, right? Time is a very important resource for all of us. So that's why those are the perspectives that I bring to answer your question.
Yeah, well said. I mean, what you do, bringing that objectivity so clearly to a jury or what have you, is so critical. You know, when you look at courtroom settings, you look at the legal teams, you think, you know, they're trying to pull some sly, you know, rhetorical trick to fool a jury, but that's not what you do at all. You're not one side. I mean, you are fighting for the victim here, but these are facts. This is data. This stuff is not rhetorical. This is literal, and you can't argue against that. So, again, your perspective is such a key component of a successful case. So, I appreciate you sharing that with us. I'd like to ask the attorneys in the audience, or case managers, clinicians, anybody who's listening, share your experience when working with a medical expert, especially in TBI cases. Again, in the comments below. Dr. Claudia, what professional standards guide your work, when you provide that expert neurological opinion?
First and foremost, I am a physician, and we take an oath. Take an oath to do no harm. We take an oath to have integrity, honesty, and that person's best interest at heart. And that absolutely is the number one guide. Next, I have a research background, and putting forth the information that I do, it has to be true and honest. Like I said, we're empathetic people, and you want the best for that person who's sitting in front of you, and they're so desperate, and they're so their life has just been turned upside down. But I have to remove myself from that emotional part. You use the word fight. We're fighting for people. I don't fight. I don't. I am someone who we're supposed to be. We as experts are supposed to be someone who kind of brings that calm objectivity. I get asked very tough questions, and sometimes that defense attorney or that attorney, the plaintiff attorney, they have a great point. I'm not there to be upset. I'm not there to be like, no, but this person, no. I am there to acknowledge the information that is put forth to me and explain it to the best of my knowledge, and rely on my expertise, my knowledge base as an expert to put forth my assessment, my opinion.
That's amazing. Yeah. So I think, as our audience is listening, I'm sure, especially if they're in the midst of their own, legal case, big or small, hearing a medical expert such as yourself, I'd like to ask the audience, what would you like to have a medical expert such as Dr. Claudia help your lawyer, your doctor, or the insurance adjuster to understand about how that TBI you have has affected you and your family? Please, again, share that in the comments below. Dr. Claudia, are you available to provide neurological review or that expert consultation in TBI cases?
Absolutely. Right. Yes, absolutely. You reach out to me. I am on the social platforms. You can come to my website, neurocurious.com. You can track me down through Kiley here. Right. I don't want to give my number.
We'll get you in contact.
On a show.
We got your back.
But I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. Just go to my website. There's a portal for an email. My emails are all on there. I'm very responsive. I have a team that works diligently to make sure that we are responsive. And, I'm here for you.
Excellent. So for attorneys or legal professionals who might want to contact or might need that neurological expertise in TBI cases, is that best way? You said just reach out, go through your website, you could come through us. Like you said, I think that's a great idea. Got a phone listed, did you say, or no? I missed that.
I do have, it's my personal cell number, so I don't like to give it out on the shows.
But listed on your website, is there a phone contact?
But if you go to my website, neurocurious.com, you will be able to click on contact And it's very easy. We check that throughout the day, every day.
Excellent. So last question. Once that initial contact's made, what does it look like when you get you on the phone? What could we expect?
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's back up a little bit. LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah. Love LinkedIn. Yes.
That is, I think you guys found me on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. Everybody can find me on LinkedIn. Claudia Munoz. It's my picture.
Excellent. Love LinkedIn.
It is probably the little brain on there, the little brain icon. That's been a great resource. So you can message me. All of my contact information is on there. So.
Yeah, and you're right. We did find you there. When I was doing a little pre-show research, I definitely used that. That profile of yours, amazing, very comprehensive, lots of great information on there. Your website is amazing.
Thank you.
You can feel, audience, you can feel and see the passion Dr. Claudia has for what she does.
We put a lot of really good information out there, and I have to credit my team. They stay on me because I'm a busy lady.
I'm sure you are.
They stay on me, and we work hard to bring really good information out there.
And it's bilingual, correct?
It is. I am bilingual. I am a native Spanish speaker as well. So I am able to work with any of your Spanish-speaking population in their native language, which I will really advocate for if you have access to professionals who can communicate with your patients in whatever their language is. It really makes a difference. It makes a difference to the client themselves, and nothing gets lost in translation. That's
right. Literally, yes. We love our Spanish-speaking team members here inside Shane Smith Law. So yes, being bilingual is such a gift. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it's a gift. It's a gift.
Yes.
I encourage everyone. Encourage your kids to pick up a language.
Yeah. I agree. Yes. Great idea. Dr. Claudia, like to put it to you. Is there anything you'd like to leave our listeners with before we wrap up today's episode?
For your client listeners or someone who has been or experienced or has a loved one, it is not all in your head. Okay? Take your symptoms seriously and seek help. Okay? It may not have to be from someone like me, but get out there, start the process, and understand that the answers aren't going to be immediate. Okay, it may be a work in progress. For my attorneys out there who might be, I know Shane Smith Law, excellent plaintiffs attorneys. I'm here for you. I do also do defense work. I know you don't want to hear that, but the truth is you do actually want someone who can see things from all sides. We bring a broader perspective. And that's all I'm going to say on that. I don't know. We bring a broader perspective, and you can count on a good collaboration, a solid collaboration, an honest collaboration.
Well, Dr. Claudia, that was an amazing way to wrap. Audience, if you didn't catch the first episode, I would encourage you to go back and watch that one as well. They fit together so nicely. It's a nice flow. So, Dr. Claudia, thank you so much. This is going to wrap it for another great episode of Mind Matters, Navigating Head Injuries and Concussions. Again, a heartfelt thank you to Dr. Claudia Munoz for taking us inside of her process as a neurological expert and how she uses history and exams and data to form objective opinions, right? Very important, and how she partners with legal teams in traumatic brain injury cases. If this discussion today sparked questions or maybe reminded you of your own journey, we would love to hear from you in the comments. Your feedback, again, it really helps us create episodes that truly serve patients, clients, families, and other legal professionals. Please subscribe, give this episode a like, and share it with anyone working with or through a TBI case, whether personally or professionally. And as always, remember, if you're in pain, call Shane at 980-999-9999. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Mind Matters. Take care.
Thank you.
In pain, so I call Shane. 980-999-9999. In pain, call Shane.